Hey guys, this is Rev with Revolutionary Tattooing here. Just showing you guys what's going on here today. We're making ourselves some finger tattoos for our client. So finger tattoos are very technical, and I'm a registered nurse, and so to describe the skin is very important, and to understand it is very important because you have to understand how sort of the blood flow, the anatomy, physiology, how the body works. And like I said, coming from a registered nurse and nursing background, I understand these layers of the skin. And so you got 3 layers of the skin, and they're like this. And you got the D is the dermis, and then you got the E is the epidermis, and then you got the H is the hypodermis. And so you're looking at the epidermis layer of the skin, which is the outside of the skin here, or the skin itself. Then the dermis is the next layer under, and that's where kind of tattooing wants to sit. If we only stay on the top layer, back over to here, on the epidermis layer of the skin, then they tend to fade away, the tattoos. They flake off and they kind of disappear. This is weak lines and stuff that fade away are only on the first layer of the skin. The needle has to puncture that first layer and go into here, into the dermis layer of the skin. You definitely don't want to be down in here, and you don't want to be far into here because there's capillary beds and things like that that run inside of this layer of the skin. But you want to be far enough where you're not just solely on this level of the skin into the epidermis, coming down. You have to puncture through here, and this is where you hear the sound of the machine sort of bogging, and it's like, and then if you come into here, it's really bogging and below. So the machine's like zzz. That's what you want to hear when you drop in. If you drop too low in, you're gonna hear zzz, some shit like that, and you don't want that. You want that, zzz, and it makes a little shift. That's what's gonna tell you where you're at many times. I started in, many of you know my family is indigenous of Mexico natives. They've been tattooing since, and piercings and scarifying since the beginning of time. They use cacti needles, and I started out in hand poke tattooing. And hand poke tattooing, I think everybody, especially that's new and starting out, should try hand poke tattooing, because when you use a hand poke tattoo, you can feel this first layer of the skin. So you got those layers like that, and when you pop through here, you can feel this. When you pop through this epidermis, the skin layer, and then you get down into, the next layer, you can feel the difference in the thing, And so I don't really like this drawing. This one was better over here, but you can feel when you pop into here, and then you get down into here, into the dermis, the second layer, you can feel that needle tint when you pull it back up. The skin, well, you pull it up and the skin will actually kind of tint. You can feel it when you're hand poking. It's so fast with a needle on a machine. But I think every tattoo artist should, give it a whirl with the hand poke tattoo, even if it's just once or twice on themselves, to feel what that needle feels like. Even a 3-liner is what I usually do hand poke tattooing with, and feeling it catch and pull, and you could feel those layers of the skin, not here on the finger, but on a thicker part of the body or something like that. But anyhow, we just got to be careful, with our speed. We're going to use a small needle. It's a very small area. She has really small hands. These tattoos are probably run too fast with 9 volts or something like that, 8 volts. And when you get into the fingers, you really got to come down on your voltage, come down on everything. Think about it. You can come down on your hand speed. Hand speed has to match voltage, and voltage has to match hand speed. That's a whole nother idea and lesson, and there's lots of information on the internet and on YouTube and stuff about hand speed matching voltage speed, and synchro. It's got to be synchronized. And so on this, I'm going to use a 3-liner to cover. We're going to go blackout here. We're going to black out, and we're gonna do you know, the dots and make some patterns. And so you know, I'm gonna use a 3-liner at probably 7 volts, maybe 6.5, and we'll see where it goes. And we're gonna move real slow with it, you know, and just barely touch the skin, because in this finger, this layer, this epidermal layer, the epidermis of the skin, this is your skin, all right? And then, like I say, it's probably the size of this on her skin, is probably the size of this, we got these alcohol sterile pad preps. It's probably the size of this edge. It's the thinness of her skin, of this layer that I'm drawing of the epidermis. And the dermis is probably is probably the same, because it's just really, really thin area, okay? And so you can easily pop this, you know, through the E and the D and the H. You can pop this through too far real easy because of how thin this is. So I'm gonna set up the GoPro, excuse me, and you guys can watch. I'm gonna feather this stuff in. Another thing is, this is one of those times when I won't use a stencil. I highly recommend you get yourself some of these surgical skin markers, and we're gonna mark, it has a little measuring thing and metrics and stuff like that, but we're gonna get into this design and manually apply it with this skin pen. It's really small technical areas where I guess some artistry or something has to come into play. I got 2 skin pens here. This is called some brand Tone Das. I'm a registered nurse, like I said, most of you guys know, so I'm familiar with these types of skin pens. And it's thin, and then you got thick, and then you got thick. So she's thick, so you want that one too. So something I want to show you about this, you know, what's really good is, you know, she doesn't like something that we're doing on her, you know, so I'm gonna do, you know, dot, 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 and she says, oh man, I don't like that, or I say, oh man, that's off centered, you know. So the great thing is you can take these alcohol sterile pads here, alcohol prep pads, and you know, the cool thing is, I mean, you look at this stuff up here, it's been on for a while. It's like a stencil, man. But the great thing is, you don't like what you see here, boom, how hard is this, you know? And so this is the thing about fingers when I do them, and if I do finger, you know, I'm really not messing with the stencil, man, unless it gets kind of complicated. But that's probably a good indication that you probably shouldn't be doing that shit on a finger, because if it's too complicated to get a stencil on it, it's so complicated that you need a stencil, yeah, you probably shouldn't be getting up on it with you know, that area or whatever on the fingers. That's my advice to you. If you can't draw it on there with the skin pen, especially that fine skin pen, maybe you can't get the leverage, you don't have the skill to draw this on there, you probably shouldn't be putting a needle on there at, you know, 2,000 revolutions a minute or whatever is going on. So I would draw that on there and get it on there. And it's not always that technical anyway. Sometimes you just draw some things on a piece of paper. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what she wants, you know, or whatever. And, you know, you look at some pictures. It's not that hard, you know. You kind of look at pictures, draw some things on a paper, you know, 3-step process, draw it on her finger, you know, and if you don't like that, you know, get you the alcohol prep pad and wipe it off. So this is Rev with Revolutionary Tattooing. You can check out my new website. Got it built. It's revolutionarytattooing.com. And we're out here on the Oregon coast. If you listen hard, it's raining hard out there. That's how it does here. So if you're ever in the Oregon coast, Tillamook area, the Tillamook Cheese and Ice Cream Factory, or in this general area, you know, hit us up. We'd love to pierce and tattoo you. So I'm gonna drop the skin pins on her and design these tattoos real quick. I'll get back to you guys and show you on my GoPro how we lay this down in the final product. So subscribe, like, comment, whatever, and we'll learn here together how to do things. And I like to teach and I like to learn. So we all got a lot to teach and we all got a lot to learn. So stay tuned. All right, guys. So it's Rev here with Revolutionary Tattooing, and so we're back here with the finger tattoos. And so you see, we drew on some stencils rather than put a stencil machine on. I know it looks a little thick, but hold your hand up. So she holds her hand up. You can see that the bottom edge and the top edge are flat on all of these, and so they're jaggedy a little on the inside. We're gonna use a 3-liner, obviously, you know, and come straight at it. We're gonna go with the 4 dots, 4 dots, 4 dots, 3 dots. We're gonna black all this in. We got the arrows going here. We got the dots on the fingertips on all of them. We got the arrows going up. We got the big dot, the medium dot, the little dot. We got the thin line, the thick line, the thin line, and we got the sun with an arch and 3 rays. So this is the finger tattoo. This is what it looks like when you erase and erase and erase. And sometimes you'll lay it down perfect, and you know, it's not too bad, I guess. We got a few alcohol pads and a little bit of paper here, but it's not too bad. You just got to make sure your stuff's in line, you know, and there's many ways to look at it. You know, this pinky to me looked like it might have needed to be moved in, but then if you look at the hand flat, you know, it's where it belongs. All these are where they belong. And all I can tell you is, you know, hold the hand flat, kind of take a look. This one's, whoops, sorry guys, this one's bled a little. I'm gonna come and correct it because it drops off if you look at it. Hold your hand up. It drops off a little bit, but it's hard to tell. It's really hard with finger tattoos, you know. But these are all definitely, this one, and this one are very clean. I don't know what happened here, but that's the skin pins too, you know, they can bleed. So the bottom level looks good. I just won't follow the bleed, I'll follow the line. But this top line is what I need to follow. So I'm gonna come in here and correct this. The rest of it looks really, really good. And so we're gonna tattoo it, and we'll show you what the final results look like, and stay tuned. Alright guys, so it's Rev with Revolutionary Tattooing, and so I'm back here with these finger tattoos, and I'm going to try to get it on my GoPro. I'm using a light though. I like to use this light. I don't know if it's going to mess up your guys' visual over there. I'm going to record it on another device too, try to get it. But you know, I'm a big fan of the headlamp. You know, I like to light my stuff up. But it looks like on this video it might not work if it becomes, there's some lower lighting, but it's absolutely messing up the video. So a strobe light, it's okay, I can see. If it becomes a problem, I'm gonna have to switch mediums or whatever for recording. But you see, we laid the tattoo out on her fingers, and I showed you guys what was up with that. So we're gonna do the blackout of the tops of the old tattoo. Get these 3 dots there, 4 on that one, and 4 on that one, and 4 on that one. Yeah, I like it. I like the way it looks. And got the big dot, the medium dot, the little dot here. And then we got the arrows, then we got the small band, big band, small band, and then we got the sun and the arch and the rays, and then we got the dots on the fingers. And so what I'm doing here is I have this masked, I don't even know what it's called, Pro something or other machine here, and I got a battery pack on it, and if you see this on the top, I don't know. So this is, you double tap it, and it brings you to the last speed you were on. The number here is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So these are volts. Turn it up by pushing the button. 11 volts down to 6. Then there's a battery indicator. Battery indicator on the thing. So I'm using a cordless. I'm gonna start with a 7-liner. I don't know if you can see here how far the needle's out, but I like to keep the needle out. You see it? And so you can see what we're doing. I mentioned earlier we need to be very light You want a very small needle, a very slow hand. If you have a slow hand, you have to have a slow voltage. A 3 liner is very sharp, and it's going to cut through, you know, that skin. So we can run at 6 volts, and we'll see how it goes. If we have to bump it to 7, we'll bump it to 7. Don't forget what I trained you or taught you guys. You know, like I said, I'm a registered nurse, but it doesn't take a registered nurse degree to understand that you have 3 layers of the skin, and you know, the outer layer is the epidermis, the layer that is in between is the dermis, and then the hypodermis is below that. And so this is how you get 1st degree burns, 2nd degree burns, 3rd degree burns. Same idea, is going through layers of tissue. So I'm going to start at the bottoms and work my way up. I'm going to start from this side to work my way to that side, because this is where I'm sitting. So I just work up. So I'm not, you know, if I'm coming down, I'm touching down here. If I start up in here, on this, I'm going to be coming down into this, and that's not going to be good. Be rubbing stuff as I'm doing the upper stuff. So I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way up. And I might not even touch that stuff until after I get all the bottoms done, up to this knuckle here, and then come do these ones at the top. So you guys can watch what I do and how I do it. I'm going to use really extra dark black lining ink, and we're going to move real slow, you know, put some Vaseline. Want to glide through it, you know, we just barely put a layer of Vaseline on there. And so we're going to come in and, you know, assess it. And we're gonna, you know, just really slowly get in here. You feel it?
Yeah.
So we just don't want any blowouts. So, you know, it's just like that. We're gonna baby that thing, and you know, have a nice little dot there. And I'm just gonna actually do all of those real quick. Got to be able to see that needle the whole time, and like I said, you know, I can feel it. You know, I'm you know, barely into that skin. How does it feel to you?
That's a sensitive spot, but yeah.
You feel it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, just be careful. You don't want to overwork the area. We're at a really slow speed, 6 volts with a 3-round liner. You know, and we can see the tip of the needle. We're in complete control of the thing, and that's what you want, you know. And stay within your lines. Just remember, I always say, you know, you can always go smaller, always go bigger, but you can't go smaller, you know. So be careful with what you're doing with your tattoo machine if you're doing this, or if somebody's doing it on you, however you want to look at it. And understand, you know, that, you know, if you can see this, I'm turning away from you, but it's very intricate. This is a very small area. See the ink going in it. And that's how you do it, and just barely touching stuff. So, you know, and if you look at it, you can see it. Oops, my bad. Alright, so we got it there. It's a little circle. Very intricate area. Very, very, very intricate. So, I'll show you guys how it's going, and that's how we're doing it. And, you know, just take it one step at a time. That's how you do it. And work your way and work your way. And plan your work and work your plan. So. So I just worked both sides of this because now I got to change angles a little bit. So now I'm going to work the other side of it. And the biggest thing I can tell you is stay within your stencil, man. That's why you made it. And that's why you made your stencil, so stay within your stencil, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, then come over and, you know, just wipe it and take a look at it. That's why we use a 3-liner on something like this too. Because if we don't like, you know, something is a little glitched or something like that, you know, we can come back and we can fix it very easily, you know, and we don't have huge lines. And, you know, we're babying this thing, man. This is a finesse job, bro. Like, this is the kind of stuff, I don't know, it's just easy going. You gotta work your plan and plan your work on this. You're in the micro world right here. You're not in the macro world, you know. And this is the thing I like to do. I like to do this, you know. We mess with psilocybin and all kind of things, you know, like that, psychedelics, and I don't know. We just like to be in that micro world. But you know, you take a look at that, you know. I don't know if you can see it, but it looks good. We'll take pictures later too. Can you see it? Yeah. Looks good to me. So we're gonna leave that like that for now. You know, not mess with it too much. We'll come back over here now and work our way over, and you know, we're gonna work this big circle right here. This is a big circle. You can see that, and we're gonna come. I'm gonna outline that circle real quick. Stretch that skin still, stretch that finger, even though it's a tight little area. And just brace yourself and work that area, you know. Slow is better. That's why everything's small here. We're in the micro world. We're on the 3-liner. You don't want to hear any bog. You don't want to feel any needle drag. This is the kind of stuff is finesse, man. And if you're not about it, then don't mess with it. This is not a quickie. You know what I'm saying? This is a making love story right here. This is a military attention to detail job. There's no room for error, so you just take your time on it, man. And, you know. And that's how you give the client what they want. You know, make sure you draw it out. You spend the time with them to draw it out. They looked at it, you know, they approved it. You know, how you like that? Good?
I love it.
All right, good. And we'll come back and we'll double check it. And obviously we're gonna come back and use, you know, green soap or whatever and clean it off so that we can see what it looks like, and, you know, any errors, you know, they're very fine. That's why we're using this thing at a 6-speed, a 3-liner. We're taking our hand movement is very slow and methodical, you know. It's very deliberate. And this is why a good stencil comes into play. And this is, you know, you follow your stencil, man. Like, that's all I can tell you is, you know, you follow your stencil. You guys probably aren't being able to see this because I'm blocking you. But you know, you got to follow your stencil is what it comes down to. And you got to know, you know, you put that stencil on there for a reason. So then you can get a little jagged on this for a minute, like, I mean, tiny bit, because, I mean, you know, you're on a 3-liner, man, like, you can feel the tiniest of places, and that's why we're using a 3-liner, because we can get in here and we can fix anything, whatever happens or wherever it goes, you know. And so, you know, I'm gonna switch over right now to my headlamp, and I'm gonna stop this video because what I'm doing here with the client is more important than any video. So I'll show you, we'll have other media to upload than the GoPro, but the light's not good for the GoPro and my angle's not good for the GoPro, so we'll shoot from some other angles, and I gotta see what I'm doing, and that's most important, guys. So all right, we'll catch up. And that's why you made your stencil, so stay within your stencil, you know what I'm saying? And you know, then come over and, you know, just wipe it and take a look at it. That's why we use a 3-liner on something like this too, because if we don't like, you know, something is a little glitched or something like that, you know, we can come back and we can fix it very easily, you know, and we don't have huge lines. And, you know, we're babying this thing, man. This is a finesse job, bro. Like, this is the kind of stuff, I don't know, it's just easy going. You gotta work your plan and plan your work on this. Like I said, if you're gonna air, you want to air to that inside, you know. I'm gonna bring these down even. So that's about all I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna wash this off and see where our lines are at and correct anything that needs to be corrected and black these out. So stay tuned, we'll come back and we'll show you guys what it looks like when it's all washed up. All right, guys. So here's where we're at with this tattoo. Go ahead and hold your hand up a little. And So we did all of the points, went over them again, made sure they were right. This was always designed to be a bigger dot, a medium dot, and a little dot. 3 arrows going up. Turned out good. This is a band. It's thin, thick, thin. This is a sun sort of looking thing, you know, symbol. It's an arc with 3 lines up, finger. This one was a pinky, so we did 3 dots, 4 dots, 4 dots, and 4 dots. So we're covering up these tattoos. So the way that I like to do it, if you hold your hand up flat and together kind of. So basically, if you look at them, they're pretty even as they go. And that's what you want. Get your lines going good, frame them out. I do the frame sort of thing. See, like that? And I'm gonna shade it and shade it in, because the liner is very hard on the fingers. We've already been over that in the depth, and you know, got good lines going and everything like that. So we're gonna go ahead and fill those in, and we'll be done, and we'll show you the video. It's cool finger tattoos. Oh, I'm gonna use I use the 3 liner on everything at pretty much a 6 volt. And I'm going to use a 5 round shader at 6 volts as well. Get this stretched and color all these in and show you guys what's going on. Alright guys, so this Rev with Revolutionary Tattooing. So we're here, and you can see we got our finger tattoos complete. Go ahead and show them. You know, back to the story. We got the sun, the symbol, the arch, and 3 rays coming out. We got the finger. We got 3 little dots, and we got the bar made out, the ring, like a ring there. Same thing here, 3. We got the line, thin line, thick line, thin line. We got the finger dot. We got the blacked out here, 4 dots. The big dot, the medium dot, the small dot, finger dot. Same thing here. I mean, these are tight, man. These look good. These are, I don't know, I'd call them bars, or, I don't know, you know, rings, like, but they're thick, and they look great, man. I used a 5 round shader on the blackout at a 6. Sometimes I used it at a 7, just depends. And you see it's not that swollen or bleeding, and I don't even have Vaseline on this. This one was the last one I just did, and it's bleeding just a little. But, you know, not a lot of blood. We try not to do a lot of trauma here, you know. That's why we use a shader instead of the liner to fill all that in. Got to be careful with the fingers, you know. You get those blowouts even outside of these lines and on those dots and stuff. So we went really, really light. If you look at it, just barely broke the surface on these guys right here, you know. And then over here we did the arrows. They look good. And we did the dot on the finger, the 4 dots on the bar, and we did all this, you know. Let me see your other hand real quick. And so she had these letters on her hand, and you know, looks just, they're too small. Like, that's like almost like a 3 symbol. This is Gramuki or something like that, right? And you know, nobody knows Gramuki, but you know, whatever. We all have a story of why we get tattoos, but it means something to her. And but they just kind of blew out. They're really small. I would, you know, be difficult to attempt that so tight together. You can almost see the 3, but that's what it's supposed to be like. I guess on the ohm or something like that, you know, right? And we got these, and so these were the same kind of lettering over here on this hand, and we just covered them up. And then she has this arm, show that arm. So she has this arm tribal tattoo as well. And then, you know, these fingers match, and go ahead and bring everything up, you know. Yeah, and so it looks hot, you know. You got, you know, all this going on. You got the, you know, triple goddess. You got the dots. You got the blackout here. You got, you know, the armband coming, you know. And so we just hooked her up, and that's how we do it. And so from beginning to end, how you do a finger tattoo. I always say, you know, light thin areas, small areas. Think small. Everything's small. The hand movement's small, slow. The speed of the machine is slow. Voltage. The needle's small. The hand speed's small. Strokes and slow moving. And this looks great. And we're Revolutionary Tattooing. And I hope this video helped you out to understand more about hand tattooing and finger tattooing. And if you have any questions, you can hit me up, and be glad to comment or talk or learn from you. And we're all learning and we're all teaching, I guess, some of us. And subscribe, like, follow, and check out our journey. All right, thank you.